Hi everyone, it's Natasha. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Welcome everybody. I hope you are going to enjoy my video, that you're going to hit the subscribe button down below and join my YouTube channel family. So what I want to talk about is this is going to be my pregnancy vlog part 5. And for the past couple weeks, I have been really under the weather, and it has been a struggle, and I'm already kind of like my energy has already been sucked out, and I'm trying to squeeze this in as much as I can because I want people that might be curious about it or is experiencing the same thing, and they're just kind of like just don't know what's going on. So today obviously it's going to be about my pregnancy, and this was going to be the last part of what I was going to say, but I'm just going to put it out there. I just got PUP, which is it stands for, bear with me, it's a really tongue twister. It's pruritic urticarial papules and plaques of pregnancy. So it's PUPP. It is also known as PEP, or polymorphic eruption of pregnancy. This is the PEP is used in the UK. PUP is used in the US, and probably, I don't know if other countries also use PUP, but it's specific for the UK that it's called PEP. So what that means is you're going to start getting a rash on your belly. It's not going to hit your navel. It's just going to surround your navel. It's going to hit your belly. It's going to spread everywhere else. When that does happen, it usually comes out on your 3rd trimester. I don't know if you can hear that. That's my dog just walking around. So it will start off on your belly, and it will just slowly scatter everywhere else. And when you do experience this will hit you sometime in your 3rd trimester. So when you do that, I would suggest contact your doctor and a dermatologist if you don't have one yet. I was given a prescribed huge tub, like this big, it's huge, of prescription ointment. Although, and I did ask my doctor, I said, you know, is there something that I could take orally, because I am also very itchy on my scalp. There is nothing on my scalp though. Like if you look, there's no like a rash or anything. It just looks completely healthy, but it just feels kind of itchy all day. And so I've been experiencing that. My doctor's office did suggest that I get an over-the-counter antihistamine to help with the itchiness as well, and it has helped with the combination. However, even if it's over the counter, it still makes me really foggy in my head. It makes me kind of groggy. It makes me very fatigued. I also, like, my motor skills are also kind of, it feels like it's choppy. Like I want to do something, but it's not happening right now. It might be delayed, or I'm going to do something else. It's weird to explain it. Like, for example, I want to move my left hand this way, but what would happen is in a few seconds, instead of doing it this way, I might do this. So, because I'm on medication, I'm not driving because it worries me when I do take allergy medication or certain medication that will affect my driving. I have experienced it before, that I was driving and I just felt like my feet were not coinciding on what I wanted them to do, and I did bring that up to my doctor. And so when I do take these medications, I do not drive at all, and I have to wait 3 days after the last time I take it because it stays in my body even 48 hours after. So I'm just very in tune with my body, and I do listen to what my body does and what my body tells me is going on, and that does help a lot. Okay, so that's a huge part that it's been, oh gosh, I just kind of park on the couch because it's hard for me to go up and down the stairs. It's hard for me to even go to the bed. It's just, there's been a lot of challenges since this happened. So this is a rash that starts off in tiny, itchy red bumps, and it will just slowly kind of spread all over your thighs, your calves. It's not as bad anymore, but I had it on right here, and the ointment that I was taking really took that away. Also, they suggested I use a different lotion on top of the ointment that has menthol, that has also kind of helped. I think the menthol does help because it kind of feels like it's a burning and it's really hot. And what I was doing before I was able to see my dermatologist, I would put this huge pack, like this big, of frozen fruit on my thighs and my belly because it was burning so bad. And when you do have a rash and you go in contact with something hot, or like just the opposite of cooling, it usually spreads like worse. So that's what I was doing, and it really did help a lot. It was numbing it as well. So when the dermatologist said there's a specific lotion that I'm also going to prescribe you with, and they have two kinds, one with menthol, one without. It's your personal preference, but a lot of people do go with the menthol one because it's cooling. And I did go with the menthol one because it did help. And this has covered parts of my body that I usually have clothes, but the parts that do not have clothes usually are like this part of my arm. And it was here a little bit like a week ago maybe, but it kind of went away because I did put the ointment on it, and my ears, oh my gosh, if I had a video last week, the inside of my ears and this part of my ear, my lobe, was puffy and red and very, very itchy. It was just gross. So they also kind of describe it as red, similar to eczema, like patches or hives or a rash. It's a similar kind of thing. The itchiness is severe and is 24/7. So the only thing that was really helping me was the over-the-counter antihistamine. That made it a little bit more tolerable. But ever since I went to my dermatologist and they gave me the ointment, it's like a white, thick cream. It has helped. It didn't help like right away, but I use it every day, so it has helped. And this used to be puffy and red, and now there's just a little bit of like mark on there. That's not a birthmark. That was where the itchiness was, and it's only like this small patch. It used to be like this, like right here, and now it's kind of gone now. So I'm really, really glad I went to the dermatologist. It can also blister and puff up. Like I was wearing my rings last week. I did a video, I think, less than a week ago, and when I placed in my rings, like right now it's still a little bit puffy, and my finger isn't really puffy even when I got, even when I started getting pregnant. And this had blisters in here in between my fingers, and now it just kind of like darkened a little bit. But yeah, it was like in between my fingers right here. This was all red and blistered. It was really disgusting. Majority of the blisters and the rash was covered in clothing. And I remember when we went to the pharmacy, because I needed, it was a heavy duty cream that my OBGYN prescribed me. And I stopped using that because the pharmacist explained to me that it could be kind of harmful when you're pregnant because they don't really have a lot of data on it. They also don't have a lot of data on it on pregnant women and what the effects of it on a fetus growing inside a pregnant womb would be. So I kind of stopped doing that as soon as I went to my dermatologist. So I would really suggest, especially if you're pregnant and you get this, go to your dermatologist as soon as you can. And that's why I'm scratching, because it was also covering my entire back. So when we went to the pharmacy, and they were like, we just gave you this ointment a week ago or less than a week ago, and it's supposed to last you 20 days. And I was really shocked with that. It came in a teeny tiny tube, like I think 4 ounces. And, excuse me. It was 4 ounces, and I'm completely covered in it. And so my husband was like, 80% of her body is covered in a rash. So that's why they gave her a refill for it. So there was a little bit of issue with the insurance because, supposedly it's for 20 days. And then I looked at my husband because we were waiting for it. We had to stay at the pharmacy for a few hours because the insurance had a block on it. And so I looked at my husband. I'm like, 20 days? That's supposed to be for 20 days? He said, that's probably for like a person who has it on one spot of their body that is less than an inch big, and you have it in majority of your body. So maybe that's why it's only good for 20 days. I mean, that's why it's supposed to last you 20 days. So, yes, I am still very itchy. If I had 1 out of 10, I was like 10 for the past 2 weeks before I went to my dermatologist, which was almost a week ago. Now I'm probably down to a 3 or 4. And before because it said there for the tub of cream, it said to use it between 2 to 4 times in a day. And now I have used it twice a day, in the past 2 days now. So, I always use medication when I need to, unless it's antibiotic, because that you really have to follow directions. Or certain medications, you really have to do that. But there are certain medications that use as you can, or as you need, or as need be. And it says you can use it 2 to 4 times or as need be. So 2 to 4 times or less is how I kind of gather that. So when they do tell me that, then I don't use it as much because I don't feel like I need it. So why would I need more medicine when I don't need it? So anyway, aside from that, I also want to talk about the acid reflux, because your internal organs and your internal parts of your body have smaller spaces in there than they used to have. What's going to happen, you have your fetus is slowly growing in there. What will happen is you're going to have a lot of acid reflux, and that's very common. So what my doctor said, just take some antacid. I don't really like antacid because it can give you some really bad side effects to that. I have a cousin that he was saying that if you take Tums or other antacid, it could do calcium buildup and can build in your kidneys. And he had to get, it made him grow kidney stones, which he had to get treated. So I stuck with Perrier. And that does help a lot. It's just, carbonated water, and it gives you a little bit of the carbonation. So that's why it does help and ease out a little bit of the pain. So that's what I've been doing. You need to keep an eye out all the time on your hands and feet. If it does bloat up, if it does swell up, you need to call your doctor, because that is very dangerous, and that could be, I think they call it eclampsia or something. I'm not really certain 100% if I'm saying it correctly, but you have to tell your doctor that right away. My hands and feet have been fine, and I think it's due to my prenatals are making everything balanced out. Except that, you know, I have pop, and I had like sensitive skin and stuff like that, you know, there's nothing you could do about that part. I was also told in the last few weeks of pregnancy, this is from our childbirthing class, you need to be going on all fours twice a day for half an hour each time. This helps reduce the C-section probability. This also helps make sure that the fetus flips and the head is going to be in the bottom, and when you are going to deliver, it's not going to be in breech. In breech means that the head is on the top, and it's either their bottom is on the bottom coming out, or their feet are coming out. So you don't want to do that, because it's really dangerous for delivery, and the doctor would prefer you get a C-section. So to prevent a C-section, because a C-section is very dangerous. But if you can't prevent it, you can't prevent it. So the way they've gathered the new data is, if you go in your all fours and stay there for half an hour twice a day, it's going to help. With me, I didn't need to do that. The fetus just flipped. And the reason that I know that is because, I had to do an ultrasound due to the fact that I didn't gain as much weight as my doctor wanted me to gain weight, even though I do eat all day. So they wanted to make sure that the development of the fetus is completely healthy and normal, that all the organs are developing correctly. It's just the weight that I am gaining is all just the fetus and the placenta. It's just, I'm not gaining it, or, you know, I'm not gaining excess weight, you know, on my bottom or my arms or my legs or anything like that. So he was pretty happy about that part. So when they did the ultrasound, my last ultrasound for because they do a lot of different kinds of ultrasounds, and so this was for the visual ultrasound and overall ultrasound, and the ultrasound tech did mention that the fetus has already flipped. So that was good. But if you want to ensure you're not going to have a lot of complications and go to C-section or complications in labor, because it could also be problematic if the fetus hasn't flipped. What was told in our childbirthing class is you just go on all fours twice a day, in the morning and in the evening, and half an hour each time. But if you're extra worried, you want to do an hour each time, and that's twice a day. They also say try not to sit in a reclined position, because then the fetus will stay in a reclined position, and this will make it harder in delivery and labor, and it will make the fetus be in breech. So far, I mean, majority of my pregnancy, I did sit kind of in a reclined position because I was having such a hard time breathing, and it was very uncomfortable for me. So they told me that. However, my fetus did still just flip on its own, and I didn't need to do all fours, which I'm really grateful for. So, like I said, if you are worried and you want to take the extra precaution, just do the going in all fours twice a day, at least minimum of half an hour. If you want to be extra careful, do it 1 hour twice a day. Always wear sunscreen, because your skin is going to be very different the whole time you're pregnant. Wear sunscreen even in the parts that aren't exposed, because you're just not going to even know. Even if it's exposed or not exposed in a t-shirt or shirt or pants or anything, just still put sunscreen on. The higher the better. I have 110. Okay, so just so you guys know, yesterday my face was completely burnt, and I went outside for literally less than 60 seconds, probably 30 to 40 seconds. My husband was dropping something by on his way to work, and he was in a rush, so he just said, just come get it. And he called me on his way, and he was about 20, 30 seconds away. So I forgot, and I really didn't have the time to put on the sunscreen, which was my mistake. So about an hour and a half later, I just felt my face just felt really hot, and it was like, it just felt really hot. And since I've been pregnant, my memory has not been that great. So I went to, because I was lying down just watching a show, and because my whole body was just completely in pain. So I went to the bathroom and I looked in the mirror, and I saw my face was just completely burnt. So I rubbed on right away my prescription medication from when I had in my first trimester. I still have a little bit of it left, and I put it on twice yesterday, and now it's a little bit better, but I still put it on. You can't see it very much anymore because I put on the ointment yesterday, and what I've noticed, if I put it on right away and it's maximum twice a day, it does help us like really fast. And I also put in the Derma E on it, and that also helped like the cooling part. But I still put it on today just to make sure. And it wasn't as bad today as it was yesterday, but just a precaution, because it usually stays with me for 48 hours. So today it wasn't as bad as yesterday, but yesterday it was just like, it looked like someone slapped me and their hand was bigger than mine. Like it covered my face this way, like my entire face, like from, like my whole entire face from here to here. That's how big their hand was, and it covered like from here to here, that like all of that part. And here it wasn't as bad because it was the sun coming down over here. Here it was just probably like in this kind of area, but over here it was my entire face, and it looked so bad. It looked like the same color of a tomato, like a ripe red tomato, but it was like my natural skin. It wasn't like costume makeup or anything. It was just my skin. And I knew if I didn't put that ointment on, from experience, from, getting this in the past several months, if I didn't put that on, it was just going to get worse, and it was going to blister, and it was just going to travel all over my face and probably like everywhere else. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's been going on since then, since my last pregnancy vlog part 4. And I wanted to share that with everybody out there that might be trying to get pregnant, they just found out they were pregnant, just so you're aware on the things that you should, kind of prevent if you don't want to, because it is very painful going through all of these things. The PUP, though, there is nothing to prevent. There's nothing you can do to prevent it. But when you do have it, I recommend you you make an appointment to a dermatologist as soon as possible. If it's going to be in the same day as your next doctor's appointment, go and do that. If it's going to be before, go and do that. If it's going to be a day or two after, go and do that, because it will really just spread out, and there's nothing you can do. And it's better to go with the dermatologist than your OBGYN, because the medication that they're going to give you will definitely treat it better. With my OBGYN, I had a few things going on, so I was taking antibiotics, And I was taking antibiotics, a prescription medication, like 2 prescription medications as well. I forgot, but there were a few things that I did, and it really didn't die down right away compared to the ointment that the dermatologist gave me. So please go to your doctor right away. It will help resolve it because it's really, really bad. It's incredibly itchy, and it burns so bad that it's hard to think. It's hard to do anything else. So there you have it. That is my updated, and that is my pregnancy vlog part 5. I hope you guys got all the information as much as you can, and I hope this, you don't get the same experience that I do. I hope it's very, very minimal because you get to see my video and you get to be prepared. And as soon as you get that rash on your belly and on your upper thighs, it usually starts with the belly. So as soon as you get that rash, you make that appointment right away and you go to a dermatologist, and you let your OBGYN know that as well, because I'm still going to do some tests as well to see that it is just pup and it's not like affecting my liver and my kidneys, which they're kind of worried about right now. So go to your doctor as soon as possible. Okay, so it doesn't spread and you're not going to be in complete nightmare, like 24/7 pain, and it's hard. It's already hard to sleep in your 3rd trimester to begin with due to the hormones. It was also kind of hard to sleep due to frequency in the bathroom, so you don't really need to add this on, which I am still experiencing, and I don't want anyone else to experience what I'm experiencing right now, because it is really a nightmare, ongoing nightmare 24/7, and there is no pause button, there is no like timeout, nothing. So thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoy my video. You're going to hit the subscribe button down below and join my YouTube channel family. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for stopping by.